Hello, I'm King Arthur. I'm here at E3 2015. I just interviewed the narrative lead for Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Hello, everyone. I'm King Arthur, and I'm here with Jess LeBeau. And could you please give us your title and position in the company?
Yeah, I'm the lead narrative designer for Sniper Ghost Warrior 3.
And obviously, this isn't the type of game where you go in and shoot everyone and then walk out. It's a very different type of pacing for a game. Could you just kind of give a general overview of the game for people who may not be familiar with it?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's open world, as you saw. There's a rich storyline that you choose when you engage in those missions, right? You get those from command. You are under orders, but you also have to do a lot of work to be able to prepare for that. So you have to do your reconnaissance. You have to unlock sniping locations. You have to unlock your safe houses so that you can move through the world. You have to get intel on your targets. The game is not going to tell you where your target's going to be. You're going to have to find out who is involved. You're going to have to find out where they are. You're going to have to find their patterns, right? Because they're not going to just stand around and wait for you to kill them. They're going to have a job. They're going to have a story. They're going to have an arc. They're going to move through the world, and you're going to have to go, okay, I know this guy's going to be here on this day, and I'm going to learn. He's for the next 3 days. I know what his itinerary is, where he's going to travel, and then you're going to go, okay, I know the city really well, so I'm going to wait until he gets to the city to hit him. That means I've got 2 days to prepare for that, right? So I go and I do my research. We have a day-night cycle. We've got dynamic weather. We've got real things that pass time during the open world phases, right? And so, yeah, it's tactical, right? As you see, you're in the demo we do here. We only shoot 2 bullets, right? Yeah. And so, resources are scarce. You're surviving. And that's what we want you to do. We don't want you to just go in and spray bullets. We want you to think about every shot, how you get in, how you get out, where you're going to take your targets. It's realistic.
Yeah, definitely. And so there are a couple things that after watching the demo made me really want to learn more about. For example, like the AI. How much is scripted? How much is like simulated? Or how does that work?
So we have our own mocap studio, as I mentioned, right? So the scenes that are important to the story are scripted, right? I mean, because we want you to overhear certain things at certain times. But that having been said, you're never going to see a guard come out, put his rifle down, light up a smoke, and then turn around like, hey, please don't shoot me in the back of the head, right? You're going to have guards that are on patrol. They've got a patrol route, and they're going to, stop at certain points, and they're going to act like guards at a real base would. And then there might be things that interrupt them, right? A car drives by, they have to interview, who are you, what are you doing here, right? And that might be your opportunity to take them out. It's up to you how you're going to do it, but what we want to do is create that realism. So the AI has a purpose. The AI has a story. Yeah, it might not be important to the overall. Not every NPC is going to have a role in the overall story, but they're gonna act like people.
So obviously, with the sniping, you have different factors: wind speed, temperature, distance. I mean, how about the average Joe like me who doesn't know anything about shooting a sniper? Like, how does the player learn to deal with those conditions?
Well, we're going to teach you, right? I mean, we're going to have to do tutorials and that sort of thing. But we want this to be tactical, but we want to take the tedium out of it, right? We don't want you to have to play for 10 hours to be able to actually hit somebody from 100 meters, right? So we want you to feel like your breath is important. We want you to feel like your stance is important. We want you to feel like, okay, the wind, it's raining right now. Maybe I should wait until it's not raining to take this shot because I have a hard time with that. I've tried and practiced that. But we also don't want to punish you, right? We want you to be fun. So I think gun enthusiasts are going to find it refreshing because they're gonna be like, wow, this feels like a real gun. And I think people who aren't gun enthusiasts, who just want to play a game, are going to feel like, you know what, I can handle this, right? It takes a little getting used to. I'm not going to lie. But it's yeah, I think you'll be able to play. It'll be fun.
in your YouTube video, you mentioned that there was some morality at play here in the game. Tell me about how that affects the gameplay and the choices you make in the game.
So, as I mentioned in the demo, you are illegally behind enemy lines, right? You're an American special operative, and you're going to be involved with several different factions, right? You can ally yourself with them, or you can, potentially fight against them. Some of them you will obviously fight against, but you can also you'll have to make a lot of choices, right, about how you're going to not just move through the game, but also who you're going to befriend and who you're going to fight against. And I don't want to give away too much, but basically there'll be people that you'll be working with that you may have to betray in order to actually complete your missions. And so what we want to do is set up situations where you might be allied with a faction, and you might be working with them for a couple of missions, and then you might have to betray them and kill somebody in that faction. And then that means they're obviously, next time you go into the territory that's controlled by them, you'll be fighting them, right? They're not going to like you anymore. And if you've spent enough time with them, our hope is that we're going to create interesting, realistic characters. You're going to, have an emotional attachment to them, and then you might be ordered to kill them, right? And so you have to make some choices. Do I do this? Are there ways around it? Maybe there are, maybe there aren't. So we really want to make choices important, and to do that, we have to make you feel,
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'm very, very interested and excited to see that. One thing I am curious is what are your inspirations for this game narratively?
There are quite a few, actually. I mean, recently there's been all sorts of tell-all novels about special forces operations, SEAL Team 6, that sort of thing. But I mean, you can go all the way back to sniper accounts from Vietnam. There was a guy there that had the largest kill count for a very long time until American Sniper. Our creative director is an ex-Marine scout sniper. So, the gameplay and the realism come from his vision, but also he is an established writer as well. He's done all sorts of different games. He's done television, and so him and I and our narrative design team, we're looking for real-life examples, from these books, from special forces training, from things that we've learned, but also from things that that haven't come out in the media, right? Things that have occurred to our creative director, and stories from real soldiers. So. I think I would say it's safe to say that we're inspired both by real-life accounts of war and of people who are in these sorts of situations.
Was there anything else you wanted to say before we talked about price and release date?
Just judging from the reaction of people that have been coming to the booth at E3, I think there are a lot of run-and-gun shooters out there, and people they like those games, but they're getting a little bit tired of seeing the new version of the last game. They can play it. It's a different location perhaps, but it's not really all that exciting. People are looking at this like, hey, this is a really refreshing new thing, and it's really cool to see, because I think what we really are trying to do is be a unique experience, and I think we've achieved that. I really do. And just judging from the reaction, I don't think that's just us being blinded by our own vision. I really think people think that this is a unique experience, and I think we're going to deliver it. It's very cool.
I agree. I do really like how it's different. The pacing is different. Just the gameplay style is different. So I agree. So general idea of when it will be released and what platforms?
It's going to be on PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. We're shooting for second quarter of next year, 2016.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today.
Great. Thanks for chatting with me.
Well, that's the story.
I think I'll stick around for a while.